welcome back. We're here with Heather Doney with Life in a Box, and we've been talking about getting organized and being prepared. We talked a little bit about the book a little bit ago, and now we're going to be talking about what does this book do and how does it affect somebody who owns a home and in the real estate business. So I'm going to start off here because my experience has been, because I work with a lot of people who have either their parents are transitioning into assisted living, or maybe something's happened, emergencies happen and they can't communicate any longer, or, God forbid something's happened, they passed away suddenly. So while we always expect our parents and our grandparents to live forever, and they're going to be there to always answer every question, that's why this book becomes so important, because I had a situation where everything was very well organized with this family, but then it came down to where was the passwords to get into the phone, the bank account, the safe. We couldn't get into one of the safes, and where are the keys? Basically, where are all the bodies buried? We got to know that. So tell us, how would this book help out with that?
Well, the way that the book would help out, Linda, is to shorten the amount of time. Whenever something catastrophic happens, you go into this fight or flight response. And there's a stress and it could even be that you already knew that grandma was going to pass away, or even if it's something you anticipate, there is still always that fight or flight response, that adrenaline rush of just an emergency. It's just how we are wired to kind of take over and put ourselves into that survival mode. So what you want to do is you want to reduce the amount of stress that comes along with that situation. And the reason why my tagline is get organized, be prepared, is to be prepared so that we're not reactive to those situations. So when we're coming upon a real estate situation where now we have to sell the home, it was in the trust or it wasn't in the trust and it's going to go to probate, and all of these things start to happen. Those are a lot of words that people can't process in that time frame. And as a realtor, I'm sure that trying to help folks navigate that, when you don't really know what you're looking for, you're all with your, you feel like you're magnifying glass out with your, pipe trying to do a mystery hunt. And it's a lot more stressful than it really needs to be. And so that's why I created sort of the system with like a box or an indicator of where it could be. And you mentioned passwords and codes to the safe. Now, you don't want to just have these things out in your home, right? So even in this box that I tend to recommend to my clients, you still need to have sort of like a paper trail. And I don't know if many people use the safety deposit box at banks anymore. I feel like we've all moved into a digital world, which there are benefits to, but also then you can't get into the computer to begin with. Right. So how are you going to retrieve all of that information? So you sort of leave an instruction code behind and say, okay, if this were to happen, here's where things are, right? And so then you can go from there. And it could just be that, hey, all my documents are at the lawyer's office. Right. All my passwords are with my lawyer or my estate attorney or at the bank. Here's what you're going to need. Here's the key to the safety deposit box. Here are, the documents that show that you're allowed to have the key that you can get in, because there's always going to be some unexpected red tape. So the more prepared families can be, it helps that real estate transaction enormously, because it can go a little bit smoother with a lot less emotion when they're already dealing with a lot of other emotion.
Right, very good, very good. Yeah, there are a lot of things too that come up during these situations, is wanting to know where the mortgage information is at. Where's the documents? Where's the original mortgage that they signed? I don't even know if anybody actually keeps those, but it's so imperative to keep those and have them in a safe place. So the other thing about how it affects real estate is the ability to be able to not only find the mortgages, but also there's something called reverse mortgages now that people are using. And I found this happening quite a bit, is that the heir says, oh, I have this house, I'm free and clear with it. But if there's a reverse mortgage, and so those are some things that we need to have in the booklet as well. So is that something you advise to have in the book, is the documents about the reverse mortgage?
I generally go down a list of a gazillion questions. And like I said before, putting things in the booklet, it's all like kind of on an individual basis. So I tend to just ask all the questions and just start breaking them down. Like, okay, well, do you need this? Do you have this? Do you know where this is? And we just kind of go down the list. So that's why, again, like the list is so helpful because it can be overwhelming. There's no way to check them off, or do I know what I have and what I don't have? And so we just brainstorm together, and then we start putting the pieces together. And now I do have to say, though, speaking of reverse mortgages, I have found that in older generations, they did not talk about, I have a family that I'm working with right now, they don't talk about their private finances. They don't want to talk about it. They just kind of move it to the side, and it's a very tender situation. It's a very hard discussion sometimes. And so leaning into that and trying to figure out a way to kind of break them open to get them comfortable to say, you may not even know if there's one because they may not have told you because of pride or, so that's sort of my job, is to be the mediator in that, just to get them to see how important it is and how valuable it would be have, everything done if that situation were to arise. So when you step in and you come in as the real estate agent, they're not like shocked or surprised with things, and you can help them navigate as well.
It's something as simple too about if there's an estate sale. What does that person want to have done with all of their things in their home? Do they want them to all go to donations, or do they want, having things set up, and you actually help people with that as well, identifying what should go to who in the family. When you have that all set up beforehand, it really does help out when an emergency does come up. So those are all very important pieces that we have as part of the puzzle. And so these are, again, a lot of people ask, why is getting organized and being prepared have anything to do with real estate? It has a lot to do with life, and mortgages and buying homes has to do with life. So we're going to take a short break again. So I know you'll hang out with me because we got to talk about the next process, the next piece, which is so important. So we're going to take a quick little break here. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.